This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, everyone, to Oceanside Library's online program with Molloy Mental Health and Wellness Center. I'd like to introduce now Kellyanne Brady, their clinical director. Thank you, Kellyanne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's program. We're so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. We love our partnership with the Oceanside Library and to be able to continue to bring these wellness programs to you. So tonight I have Stephen and Paisley here with us to talk about mindful self-care. Stephen's going to be hosting the presentation, and Paisley is going to be helping out with discussions. So as a reminder, the mics are off, so we're going to ask everyone to utilize the chat function. There's a little speech bubble at the top of your screen. If you click that, you can send a message to everyone in the chat, just as I'm demonstrating right now. And we look forward to having this discussion with you as we go through our program today. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Stephen and Paisley, and I hope you all enjoy. So thanks so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen. A intern at the Molloy's Mental Health and Wellness Center. We starting off with mindful self-care. Before we get into some information on the Mental Health and Wellness Center, our services include individual therapy for children, adolescents, and adults, group therapy for all ages, couples therapy, family therapy, workshops, and staff development training. If you call the number 516-323-3854, or email at mhwc@molloy.edu. Will totally help you and figure out the best services for you. And you could follow us on Instagram and Facebook. So to start off with a little check-in. How are you guys feeling today on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the best.
Me personally, I'm feeling maybe like an 8, 8.5.
Okay.
Can't complain when the sun is shining.
That sounds good. I'm at, I would say, a 7.5. Today for myself has been a pretty stressful day, but also a really productive day. Also, does anyone else want to share how you guys feeling?
It looks like Carria is feeling good. She's also at an 8.
Sounds great.
Michael Ambrosio is a 6.5 because it's a Monday. I feel you. Mondays are rough.
I hear that it's a rough Monday.
Definitely.
What brings everyone to the group today?
Looking for tips on how I can take care of myself, my mental health. That's a comment that we've received.
Awesome. Hopefully today's group does that for you, and I could provide you with plenty of feedback on how to best take care of your mental health.
Kellyanne says she's looking to get some relaxation to help with the stress of the week.
Sounds great, Kellyanne. Hopefully this PowerPoint today will help you find some relaxation and some other ways you could incorporate different mindfulness techniques into your day. Okay, I'm gonna just move on then. It sounds like everyone's doing pretty well though, and everyone sounds like so far was spoken is looking forward to hearing different techniques on how to relax and reduce stress into in their everyday life. So a little discussion. Does anyone know what does it mean to be mindful?
I know when I think of mindfulness, I think of being aware of my surroundings and aware of how I'm feeling personally.
Okay, yeah, that's a good start for mindful. That's being like, aware of what's going on in your space. So yes. Uh, Anyone else have an idea what it is to be mindful?
For Kellyanne, it's taking in the present moment.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I think you guys both said it. That it's just being aware of your space and taking in the moment. We'll get into more later with the slides, but it's basically what's going to capture and allow us to do when we're being mindful is to fully take in our space, fully understand what's going on in the moment, and from there it allows us to do different and respond differently to different things going on in our lives.
Yes.
What does anything
Sorry.
anyone else want to add to be mindful?
The last comment we received was practicing gratitude in the present.
Oh yeah, that's something else we could totally do while you're being mindful. What about self-care? What does self-care mean to everyone here?
Being kind to yourself is a comment we've received.
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of your body and your mind is another one. Taking time
Oh,
for yourself.
right. These are all good things for self-care. Making sure that we're being kind to ourselves. We're taking care of ourselves. We're taking care of ourselves physically and mentally. Are all so important for self-care. Any more?
Michael said staying positive.
Mm-hmm. Right. Keeping our thoughts focused on the positives compared to the negatives is huge. And why is it important to be mindful and why is it important to have self-care?
Stacy said to avoid burnout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Definitely a
it's
big
huge.
one.
Yeah. Self-care and mindfulness is very important to just avoid burnout. And as you see with our current climate now, with everything going on, just having this extra time for ourselves is hugely important to not burn out. That's just it's just going to be a big thing with self care to just make sure we're on top of it and notice it with mindfulness helps us notice the signs of burnout earlier to prevent it. I'm gonna jump to the next slide. All right. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the ability to be fully present and aware what you're doing while not overreacting or feeling overwhelmed by our surroundings. Mindfulness is something that can be done naturally, becomes easier to achieve with daily practice. A mindful person brings awareness to what they're directly experiencing with their mind, thoughts, and emotions. Right. So as we said earlier, what you guys said earlier, it's fully being present and fully being understanding what's going on in your surroundings. And why would this be important?
I think it would be important to practice mindfulness to make sure that you're experiencing every day to the best of your ability and getting the most out of your time.
Right. And how many of you guys are feeling overwhelmed and just kind of wish you could kind of slow things down?
Definitely.
That's something we've done when we achieve, being aware of our surroundings, being mindful of what's going on. When you're feeling extreme, feeling overwhelmed with everything, just taking that minute or 2 minutes to just being, to not overact or feeling overwhelmed by our surroundings. Because there's a lot going on right now with our surroundings, and just taking the extra time and fully being present at that moment could really allow yourself to not overact and not feel overwhelmed with everything going on. And as I said it earlier, I'm going to teach you some guys things from today, and more you practice it, more you could do it with daily, in your daily lives. The goal of mindfulness is to connect our mental and emotional and physical process. Awareness is knowing how our physical bodies is impacted by our emotional state. So here I have, this is called a body scan. With this one, you can use this pretty much any emotional response you're having. With this one, we're talking about fear. So it's when you're thinking, what you're thinking about when you're nervous or scared, and then how does your body react to when you're nervous or scared? What's coming up? Is your heart pounding? Is your head hurting? Are your feet twitching? Is your hands sweaty? Um, and then once you're aware of what's going on in your body, then you can figure out the next step on what to do when you're afraid. So let's say we use this thing of fear. If you're noticing right away that something's coming up and your palms are getting sweaty, you can now notice, hey, my palms are getting sweaty, my heart is pounding. This, whatever I'm confronted with now, is making me uncomfortable. Uh, how can I fix this? And what can I do in this moment now that I'm aware that this is happening to try and interrupt it and make it better than worse? Because from my experience, when I'm feeling that way and I start getting sweaty and feeling out of control of my body, my emotional state gets worse and I start overthinking. So this way, when I'm in a mindful state, I could better understand what's going on in my body, and I can address that right there and now, and firmly more go ahead and try and take care of the issue that's presented ahead of me. So mindfulness exercises. Mindfulness meditation, pay attention to the present moment and focus your breathing as a tool to ground yourself in the present moment. I have with myself right now is a mindfulness meditation. During meditation, you want to focus on your breathing as a tool to ground yourself in the present moment. It is normal that your minds will wander. You'll slowly bring yourself back in the moment by refocusing your breathing again and again. So, as difficult it sounds like it can be to just focus on the present, it happens, right? But when that happens, like you get distracted, you try and get focused, and your dog runs by, sirens go off. Just remember, focus on your breath and just breathe. Take yourself where you need to go in your own mind, in your own space, and it's something to just practice. If you're somewhere, remember your posture. Sit in a chair or on the floor with a cushion for support. Strengthen your back, but not to the point of stiffness. Let your chin drop slightly and gaze downward, point in front of you. If a chair place on the soles of your while you're sitting down, place down your soles of the feet on the ground. Or you cross, if on the chair, cross your legs, or let your arms fall naturally to your sides, with your palms resting on your thighs. If your pose becomes too uncomfortable, feel free to take a break and adjust. Next, a body scan. So that's all for, as I said before, that's all, with the mindful meditations, totally feeling everything in that present moment, feeling your feet on the floor, feeling your hands at your sides, and take your breaths and breathe. Something we could all do to kind of fully capture that moment. A body scan, paying attention to our physical sensations through your body and noticing what you feel within your body. As I pointed out before, this is an example of a body scan. Being fully aware of what's going on in your body and how your body responds to these feelings. Mindful eating is finding food you could hold in your hand and feel each group before you eat it. For myself, I find this easy with fruits, just because you could pick up like an orange or an apple, and just fully move your hand around around that fruit, and just feel the juice that's inside, feel what's the peel of the orange before you eat it, the skin of the apple, feel what that feels like, and then you could go in and you could take your time chewing, and fully feel what's going on as you consuming this piece of food. And also, to add to this, is just be aware of um your five senses. Something you can do to be aware of your five senses is, what are five things you see using your eyes. So that's your sight. What are four things you could feel? So it's touch. Maybe that's the pressure on your feet. Maybe that's your shirt on your skin, or the temperature of your skin. You can pick up an object, feel the texture. What are then the next thing is, what's three things you could hear? Notice the sound in the background. Is it the birds chirping? Is it the sirens going off? Is it your neighbor screaming? What's going on behind you? And then you could filter it out. Maybe it's your air conditioner, or some distant cars, and try and like focus on a sound and filter out the rest. What are two things you could smell? Is it the flowers? Is it the coffee? Is it some grass? Maybe it's maybe it's the overflowing sewer. Or is it the trash can near you? What's going on? What is your nose picking up at the time? Um, and what's one thing you could taste? As you mentioned with the eating, mindfulness eating, maybe you could pop in a piece of gum in your mouth, take a sip of tea, eat a snack, and notice how the taste changes throughout your tongue. Um, so just being more with all these things, you're just becoming more aware with your present moment. Another thing as I have is a progressive muscle relaxation. With the progressive muscle relaxation, I have it here. This is the script of what you're going to be doing. If you want to start progressive muscle relaxation, with that is you fully feel um, you fully feel your muscles like stretch. Progressive muscle relaxation is an exercise that reduces stress and anxiety in your body by having you slowly tense and then relax each muscle. This exercise can provide a intermediate feeling of relaxation, but it's best to practice frequently. With experience, you will become more aware of aware of when you're feeling or experiencing tension, and when you have the skills to help you relax during this exercise. Each muscle should be tense, but not to the point of strain. If you have any injuries or pain, you can skip the affected areas. Pay special attention to the feeling of releasing tension in each muscle and resulting in the feeling of relaxation. So when you do this, you want to sit in or lie down in a comfortable position. Shut your eyes. If you're feeling comfortable doing so, begin taking a deep breath and noticing the air filling your lungs. Hold your breath for a few seconds and then release the breath slowly and let the tension leave your body. Take another breath and hold it, and again release the air slowly. When you're doing this, you want to move different muscles in your body. You can start your toes and work your way up to your toes, your feet, to your knees, to your abdomen, to your fingers, to your arms, to your head, to your neck, and throughout this whole process, um, you want to feel the muscles contract, and then feel the tension in your foot, and then notice how as you're releasing your breath, feeling that feeling of relaxation and the tension is released into your foot. And I said before, you really want to focus on like what are you noticing, like during these areas in your body when as you are relaxing each thing. So something to pay attention to as you're doing this. Um, just keep your mind, uh, I guess, mindful of what's going on throughout throughout this throughout this exercise. I'll read a few. I'll keep going, I guess. Slowly release your breath and imagine a feeling of tension leaving your body. Now move your attention towards your feet. Begin to tense your feet by curling your toes and arch your foot. Hold down the tension and notice what it feels like. So just again, as I said, just noticing what is going on. What does it feel like when you fully release the tension from your foot? Um, so this is also something you could do in your space, if you feel like any tension in your body, or just as I said before, helps reduce stress and anxiety, and you can feel um, where that stress is located, and you can work in that area. If you're feeling stressed out and you feel it in your shoulder, breathe in and move that shoulder and fully release the tension comes out, and just keep on doing that throughout your body. Does anyone have any questions on progressive muscle relaxation? Or anything we've covered up to this point?
I do just want to say that I'm an advocate for progressive muscle relaxation. I use it all the time. Whenever I get very stressed out or overwhelmed, I always feel like a lot of tension in my shoulders, like you just mentioned, and I feel such a release by practicing this technique and bunching everything up and then slowly letting everything go. And you can literally just feel it go, and it's so nice. We have a comment. Kellyanne says that there's some really great resources on YouTube for free in terms of these techniques if anyone is interested. So that's a good tip.
Yeah, right now YouTube has a lot of videos on breathing techniques, grounding techniques. It's a great resource when you find the right person expressing themselves and showing you how to do it. And there's a lot of great video and great content on there. I totally agree with that. There's helps you with step by step with these different different relaxations and deep breathing exercises.
Definitely.
All right, let's move on to self-care. Self-care is taking care of yourself and honoring mind, body, and spirit that brings out your best self. Self-care is achieved when you feel cared, nurtured, recharged, and respected. Self-care helps the individual improve their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Why is self-care needed? Does anyone have an idea?
I think going back to what we said before, in terms of avoiding burnout, self-care is a lifesaver.
Right. Yeah. As we said before, with especially with burnout, taking your time, as I said, and going back and feeling recharged, feeling nurtured, feeling respected, honoring yourself, are all things which will bring out the best self. What's going to allow you to just minimize burnout, and just to kind of notice and kind of really stop burnout forever even taking place.
We have a comment from Kellyanne. She says that for her it's important because there are sometimes so many things going on and she needs to take those breaks for herself.
Right. Yes, it's really important, and glad that you said that we need to be taking these breaks for ourselves. Self-care allows us to keep a healthy relationship with ourselves, as we just said that
It was Kellyanne.
it allows us to produce feelings that helps our self-esteem, confidence, and positive feelings. So right, as we take these breaks, and we're doing things for ourselves, it's really going to help ourselves build those confidence, positive feelings, and with our self-esteem. So some self-care activities. We have sensory is breathe in fresh air, listening to some running water, take a hot shower, feel a warm bath, feel the weight and a warmth of a blanket. Pleasure, watch a movie, make art, do a craft project, journal, walk your dog, go for a walk, cook your favorite meal, go tend your do some gardening. Mental and mastery, try a new activity, make a list, drive to a nice place, clean out a junk drawer or closet, immerse yourself in a crossword puzzle, read something you wouldn't normally read, uh, and take action and or on something you have been avoiding, or read something you totally want to read again for like the millionth time. Spiritual, read or write poetry, light a candle, pray or meditate, or make a gratitude list. Whatever what you do in your spiritual practice really helps you in your care. Do that. Emotional, accept your feelings. Write your feelings. Cry when you need to. Laugh when you need to laugh. Let your tears turn into laughter. Physical, dance, yoga, walk, run, stretch, bike ride, nap, and sleep. Social, call a friend, join support group, participate in a book club, gather a Zoom lunch date, or any video chat of your choosing. And also, I would also suggest in this, schedule yourself out. Social media could be overwhelming at times. Really limit yourself on social media you're taking in, and letting yourself, as within it to also go on social media, also just because it could be a source of entertainment, and what you just need to, make sure you're on it just for why you need to be on it, and make sure you take those breaks to let yourself have those breaks from social media. So taking those two things together, mindfulness and self-care. Mindful self-care is the process of understanding one's emotional and physical well-being, having awareness of internal needs, and and awareness of external demands and supports. So with that is understanding what's going inside internally. What are you feeling? What does your body need right now? And then awareness of what's going outside. What is the outside world telling you to do? And who else in the outside world is there to help you? Are you feeling sad right now? Is that what's going on? Is it is your job putting extra stress on you, and noticing that what's going on in your workplace is impacting you? And who can I contact about that? Can I call my doctor? Can I call my therapist? Can I call my mom? Those are your awareness of your external supports. Mindful self-care provides the individual with aiding against mental health symptoms such as burnout and increasing productivity. Does anyone have questions on mindful self-care or self-care?
I'm curious if anyone has anything specific they know that they do for their own self-care. Like I know for me personally, when I'm feeling really stressed or overwhelmed, I clean my apartment or organize my office, and that gives me a lot of relief. I know that that's not everyone's favorite thing, but does anyone else have anything that we didn't talk about that they like to do for themselves?
Something else I like to point out is when you're engaging in self-care activities, it does not mean that you're being selfish. A lot of people uh, saying that I'm taking time to take care of myself, and they think that's like a selfish act. Well, I think it's just the opposite of I'm taking care of myself, um, doing what I need to do to make sure I'm available, um, emotionally, to really help other people. So we need our times to ourselves. We can't always be on and helping others and um, being available to others um, before we're available to ourselves. So I just want to make that important point that when we're engaging in self-care activities, we're not being selfish. It's a huge difference.
Definitely. Kellyanne did say that she's learning to listen to her internal signals, and it's very important. She listens to those signals, and then she takes a break. She gets outside and does a quick activity. Something simple like watering her flowers is self-care for her.
Right. It's something really important to understand. What works for you may not work for someone else. But I'm glad to hear that, Kellyanne, that's something you've established for yourself, is listening to your internal signals, knowing when it is time to take a break, and what works for you when you take your break. What is your self-care activity? So mindful self-care activities is meditation, being mindful of like your space, being mindful of your breathing, are ways you could, as we went through the muscle relaxation exercise and mindfulness meditation. This is also another way of self-care, because you're able to relax your body, relax yourself, um, and really immerse yourself in what's going on in your world, and have that time to yourself. Exercise, uh, exercise gives you, no matter what your exercise, it gives you a chance to engage with the world. Um, for some, and that might be running, and that's going to, when you're running, you're going to be feeling the earth underneath your feet, um, through your sneakers. You feel the sweat dripping down. You're feeling your heart rate accelerate as you engage in exercise. So these are ways you could, one, just be mindfully aware of what's going on in your body, and ways also as a self-care, for yourself. Journaling. Um, Journaling is a great example because you now have all these, uh, you can reflect on what happened in your day. You're feeling the pen in your hand. You're writing things down. You're feeling the paper. You're reflecting on what's going on in your side, in your head, your thoughts. You're really mindful of what's going on, thinking about what's going on and what you're feeling, and you're able to put that to paper. It also goes with maybe poetry or other forms of writing. Really just mindful of what, and thinking about the present moment on what you need to write about. And taking your break off social media, um, taking just understanding that you're taking this time for yourself. You're putting down your phone. You're closing off that app, and just letting you sit in your own present moment, and not being involved in everyone else's present moment. You're just taking your time for yourself at that time, and really allowing yourself to, um, just stay present. So let's discuss what are ways you are mindful.
So I know for me personally, one of the ways that I like to stay mindful and stay present and also practice self-care is through gratitude journaling. So there's
Mm.
a lot of different ways you can do that. You can do it verbally, you can do it through a video platform, you can do it physically by writing it out and just writing out everything that you're thankful for. I like to wake up in the morning before I even get out of bed and just say like 3 things that I'm grateful for the day, whether it's something small like waking up, being able to feel the floor, or being grateful for the coffee that I'm able to make for myself. Things like that. It can be so small, and there's so many different ways you can do that kind of exercise. So I just wanted to touch upon gratitude journaling a little bit. It's really great.
Yeah, it's really good. I agree. It's a really great thing to do. Just having that space to write down, and I guess like reminders for yourself to be grateful in that space. For me, I'm also a big journaler. I like to write uh, what I have planned for the day, and then I can reflect on what happened. It's a great way for myself to be fully mindful and reflect on my day, and allows me to be present in that moment and really feel, as I said before, my book, my pen, smell the ink, um, all these different things. Does anyone else have anything they want to share what they do for how they're mindful? If not, what's some self-care routines you guys utilize?
Kellyanne says that she has a brief yoga routine and it's helpful for her.
Great, that's really good to hear that you have your yoga routine to, self-care. I'll disclose for myself, I am as I said, just in journaling. I like to start my day off with some meditation. I like to get out there and go for a walk or a light jog. I am a candle lighter. I like to really light those candles and kind of like focus on as I'm lighting them, feeling like the warmth each candle gives off at that moment, focusing on why am I lighting this candle for, um, focusing on maybe the smells of if it's a scented candle or not, the aroma that the candle's giving off. That helps me. That's something I do in my spiritual life to kind of just let my candle and let that thing just burn and watch it and come back to it and thank it for its energy.
Yeah, we have some comments coming in. Yeah, Lucaria says that something she enjoys once a day is making her favorite meal and or watching one of her favorite TV shows.
Right, those are awesome.
TV, yeah.
Those are awesome things to do to really make your meal, and to also just sit down and relax and watch your favorite shows.
Michael Ambrosio says that definitely the early walk for a cup of coffee is something he has been doing since the end of March. Me too. Kellyanne says at the end of Kellyanne's workday, she likes to take a few minutes of quiet time to relax her mind and also take time to read when she's able to.
Awesome. All great things. What routines will you guys be adding into your life?
I know for me personally, a big part of self-care for me is taking care of my body. And I've been trying to implement healthier food options and just making healthier choices. So that is a routine that I am slowly implementing into my life. We have some comments. Kellyanne is just trying to be more intentional about exercising. And Michael Ambrosio says he is sleeping a little bit later. Sounds nice.
Nice. Getting the sleep that you need is just really important to just allow yourself to sleep when you need sleep. Sleep is a huge part of our days. Letting yourself fully recharge is fully valid and fully important to yourself and others. And as Kellyanne said, it's important to having those exercise routines for yourself, as big or small as you want to. It's up to you and how you want to do that and what you want to get out of that experience. How did you guys like the mentioned activities? Thumbs up, good? Thumbs sideways?
We're not going to get comments right now. Personally, I mean, I really want to try to implement more meditation into my schedule and my routine. So definitely learned some stuff there.
Good. Glad that you and others have something out of it. Let's do a brief checkout now. So, how is everyone feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best?
I'm still at 8.5.
Good, okay.
We got still an 8, want to keep it going. We got another 8 coming in. 7.5, the Monday workday is over.
Nice, good.
Kellyanne feels a little bit more relaxed because she got to think about relaxing, so maybe an 8.
Glad we're getting so many high scores. If you're not feeling that great and don't want to share, totally understand. Really glad you guys were here with us today. But let's do a little body scan. What are you guys feeling in your bodies? Me personally, I'm feeling my hands kind of sweaty. Happily that I'm almost done with this presentation, but also still those nerves on what's going on.
Yeah, I have that also a little. And almost like a pinching in my cheeks because I'm happy and I have that urge to smile. Kari says relaxed and enlightened. We've given her great tips. Kellyanne says she still feels a little tension in her shoulders, but it's been a long day at the computer.
Okay. Maybe Kellyanne, after this, you could do a little progressive muscle relaxation to release some tension in those shoulders. In the shoulders. How was this experience for everyone?
I had a great time. Great. Everyone's saying great.
Great. I'm glad to hear that you guys had a good time with our group this evening. I think that's all I have for you guys.
Well,
So I'm gonna
I
guess
wanted to
throw it back.
say thank you so much to the both of you for hosting this discussion. It was a really helpful discussion for us to have, and I think that it was a much needed precursor to hopefully a more relaxing evening for all of us and a relaxing week ahead.